Hello there, fellow listeners. The Table Podcast is now accepting donations from audience. So if you like the value we provide, please donate at anchor.fm/onecreate/support. Your monthly contribution will assist us in acquiring better equipment, sustaining future episodes, having larger guests, providing more value, and pursuing full-time production. That's anchor.fm/onecreate/support. And if you enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends and family. Mike, Jay, Zach, and I would like to thank you from the bottom of our hearts, and we hope you enjoy the show. Table Podcast, episode 10. So a little surprise for you guys. I'm going to title this A Light in the Darkness.
I like it.
You like it?
I like that.
Nice.
We got Jay Jackson, Saturated Soil, the one and only Mike Bennett. The one and only. And we got a awesome guest today, Nicole Hinchliffe.
Hi. Hello.
Thanks for being on.
Thanks for having me.
Like I said, I've been having a hard time getting guests on the show, and then Jay is God sent, and we had Sterling. On, and Sterling was like, "Hey, yeah, I'll network with you guys. We got Nicole."
Yeah.
And so he was.
He called me, I think, when you guys were at dinner.
We were at dinner. I know, and he totally put me on the spot. He was like, "You want to do it? Hold on." And I was like, "Well, yeah, sure, okay." And he's like, no, just hold on. Yeah, so Nicole will be there. And I'm like, I felt like he was my publicist for. I was like, tell him I'm available that time, I guess, and it was so funny.
Yeah,
But,
I was like, give me her information, her name, and we'll have her on as our last guest.
So I did a little bit of Instagram stalking on you. So
of course,
I had to do some. I didn't.
put it past
I had
you.
to do my homework. So
I did as well.
But Nicole, thank you for having us, for being here today. But introduce yourself a little bit and where you're from.
Oh gosh. Nicole Garcia Hinchliffe. Live in Cloverdale, married to my wonderful husband Isaac, and we have our beautiful baby boy, Jedediah. I call him a baby boy, but he's 4. He's the boss. He runs the show. But together, Isaac and I run Pigs Drive-In. It's a classic, old school burger and fry shop in Cloverdale. It's been around for about 100 years, and we've lived in Cloverdale for about almost 6 years. I think we're pushing 7 this September, but we met in Santa Rosa. Originally from the Central Valley, so I'm a farmer kid.
Nice.
I grew up in ag and went into the Air Force and joined. See what I guess I got to see what they knew. And then which was a great time. And then I've used my GI Bill since then to study agriculture. So I kind of got a lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do a little bit of everything. Mom, wife, business owner, entrepreneur, farmer, lover of life.
Did you use the regular GI Bill or just or the Post?
The Post, yeah.
The Post one?
Yeah.
It's more advantageous, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I think people are afraid to realize what's available to them after they've served, and what like the VA loan, for example, to get to buy a house. Like people are afraid to just dip in to say, to see what's available to them. But it's like you served your time, you served your country, you did these years or these, these tours, and these things are owed to you, for what you did for your service. So,
right.
I mean, it's not tough, but I think it's like another commitment, right? It's like kind of signing your name on the line again and swearing in again, because the GI Bill just kind of extends that, I guess. But it was definitely worth it, I think, especially moving out to one of the most expensive cities in California, especially college prices right now, and tuition pricing. It definitely has saved us,
absolutely.
Financially, I guess.
Yeah. So for those in the audience, if you want free college tuition, join the military.
Yep.
Just do 4 years and you're good to go. Why get that college debt, right? Why enslave yourself, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Don't enslave yourself, dude. Especially if you're going for a degree that's kind of useless and you're paying
Sure. I won't name some, but yeah.
Yeah, you're paying for almost $6,000 for for that useless degree. But yeah, I mean, colleges is good because, you know, if you're planning on being like a lawyer or a doctor, you know, that's a good time to, you know, to go to college.
I have a friend that just finished her doctorate.
Wow.
And the Air Force is actually paying her now more to come back in and actually be like an instructor, to go to OIT, and to like, you know, be an officer because of her education that she
Right.
used through the GI Bill. So it's like,
awesome.
it's kind of like double dipping, you know,
Right,
because they're
right.
paying you for this, and now you're being paid, you know, through your education. You're a doctor now,
Right.
so it's definitely worth it.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Tell us a little bit more about your business. Your
So
food truck.
Pix Drive-In, this was really random. That's all I gotta say. Like Pix Drive-In was like a super random venture. It went up for sale last year, and I think it was on the market for about 6 or 7 months. And we played around with, you know, with putting a bid in. And I think Five Guys and Super Burger were wanting to, you know, put a bid on it.
Yep.
But something like Pix, you have like I guess I should kind of broaden it around, is something like a town like Cloverdale. You have generations that have grown up, live there, and the business owners, you know, oh, I knew your dad, your grandpa, your great grandpa. So that's kind of how Cloverdale is. It's very generationally driven. And so the owner of the property, Claudia, I felt like she didn't want to just give to a chain. She didn't want to just give to somebody that wanted a franchise. She wanted to sell the property to somebody that she knew would probably make the best choices for it and decisions and really take care of it. And so we stepped in kind of as a, you know, just to see if we would, you know, get the bid or get the offer.
Yeah.
And they wanted us. They chose us over the other offers. And so it was pretty seamless. There was a few hiccups, but it was a pretty seamless transition. And we reopened up Pix last August, and we just rolled through the tail end of summer, and it was crazy busy. I mean, I didn't expect to just like be thrown to the wolves, you know, but that's exactly what happened. Our first night, we didn't even have our credit card machine set up, and my mom and dad were helping me in the kitchen. And I think I cried like 5 or 6 times that night. I was so stressed. I'm like, people want me to perform, but I have nothing to perform with. I don't know how to make cheeseburgers and fries.
Wow.
Like, you know, I guess, you know, give me a bottle of wine and a Wagyu and I'll make you a steak and wine dinner, but I don't know how to make cheeseburgers and fries with a fryer. I've never done that kind of stuff, you know? And so we really worked out the hiccups and the kinks through the last few months, and we are like, we're killing it now. Like, we are rock stars. We've got rock stars in the kitchen, and we've really adapted this rhythm. And you have to have that rhythm in the kitchen. You know, if somebody's off and you're on another note, it throws the whole thing off.
Right.
And so we do employ a lot of teenagers. So a lot of the Cloverdale high school staff, or excuse me, high schoolers. They are our staff. And so last night was kind of tough with prom because they all went to prom.
Hey, it's prom season, baby.
That's cool.
But to me, it's not that, you know, we just employ a bunch of kids. It's that I have an opportunity to mentor these kids, because that's something that lacks in Cloverdale, is just a mentorship program or something to where, you know, there's finite leadership that you want to look forward to, or you want to look up to somebody, and we don't really have that in Cloverdale. And so, you know, I'm using a model of burgers and fries, but it's almost you know, kind of sweet, because you have something so simple, right? And you're trying to mentor these kids to have great service, customer service, problem-solving skills, you know, how to adapt in the middle of a rush, how to get through it, psych yourself in.
Yeah.
So it's fun. I have so much fun at Pix. Oh my gosh, it's such a fun. You know, I'm just you'll see me back there, and I'm just flipping burgers. It's so fun. I have fun with it, and you can hear my rock music or my jazzy music, whatever the mood is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like it, and we're just getting started. You know, I've got a lot of plans for the place.
Just
so.
getting started.
Yeah.
But you said that you mentioned that the business was generationally owned, like
Yeah.
generationally passed down.
Yeah. So the Pickards had started. It was, I don't remember the first and last name, or sorry, the first names, but it was a married couple. They started Pix in 1923.
Wow.
Excuse me, Reed and Bell, the root beer company, started Pix in 1923, and then the Pickards took it over as Pix.
Yeah.
And I think they're I think their grandson took it over, and then an extension of the family took it over, and then they sold it, and then it got kind of, but it always has stayed inside Cloverdale families.
Right.
So Cloverdale families have always owned it. It wasn't like, a McDonald's owned it for a little bit, or,
Right.
these other chains owned it. It's
Right.
always been Pix.
It's not a franchise, yeah.
It's not a
Yeah.
franchise.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do I want to do that?
Right.
But Pix has always been, Cloverdale owned, I guess, is a good way to put it.
That's awesome.
So being that we are locals in Cloverdale, not from Cloverdale, but locals, in the community, it was just a good fit. It was a really good fit.
And that's really good too, because it's not a corporate structure. There's
No,
no corporate
absolutely
structure.
not.
It's all about for the community, for the locals.
Exactly.
That's good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Because that's where you make the impact most, is the community.
Oh yeah. I mean, we had a gal the other night message me on Facebook privately, and she said, the things that you're doing for a community. And I'm like, sometimes I don't see that, because I'm just out there, making a milkshake and fries. But it's I think that's the great thing, because I know, I grew up Christian, and in the Bible it does say that the Lord will use, sometimes the dumb things to profound the wise. It's
Absolutely.
Like, I think that's what's happening right
Amen
now,
to
because
that,
we're just
yeah.
using the simple stuff to just like make these great impacts in our community.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Wow.
Amazing story.
Let's go.
Are you guys hungry for burgers now?
I'm going after, yeah.
For
Well,
sure.
what a way to end the show, huh? Just have this awesome guest on.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you, Nicole.
Yeah.
But yeah, how's everybody's week so far?
It's pretty good, man. I'm redoing Saturated Soil from the ground up. So website, marketing, shirts, clothing lines, different avenues for both, and it's getting the numbers right for a business. I'm sure you can attest to that. Like you got to get all these. You got to get your numbers down. You got to see what's going to cost, when you'll break even, what's going to cost what, so that you can go about things accordingly and not put yourself in a hole.
Yep.
But what I will say lately is what's happening is, so when I released my first shirt, I released it kind of quickly because I was excited, I was super excited, and there was a lot of steps that I had missed, which is a good thing because I'm able to learn from it now, and I've got a marketing team, and I got all my numbers down. I got a guy ready to crank out all these shirts that I need, and he's a local dude from Santa Rosa. And so I'm just learning from all these past mistakes that I made, but I had to make them, and now that I'm actually seeing how much I'm learning, and I'm like, it's actually a really cool, it's a good feeling, because I'm like, I'm going to avoid this pothole and that one, probably going to hit another one somewhere around here. But just seeing how far I've come from shirt number 1 to this new entire thing I'm doing is pretty cool. So when I look at it like that, it's a lot of work, but it's going to be beneficial. It'll pay off this time.
Nice. I have something to add to that too. But yeah, Mike, how about you, man? How's your week?
It's been super busy. The movers were at the house today and yesterday, and super awesome crew. We were able to get everything packed up and stuff yesterday, got everything loaded today, and I know,
Dude.
I know it's coming. And it was a really good experience because the driver of the truck, he's an older guy. He's been an entrepreneur for 30 something years now. Because and I didn't know this about the transportation industry, but basically so the truck, he calls it a tractor, and then he has a trailer, so he's got a tractor and a trailer. But as an owner of one of those trucks, you are a independent business owner, and you're able to go around and contract yourself out, and you bid on jobs, you get jobs,
Right.
and this guy had so much wisdom and stuff like that to share and to pass on. And it really kind of touched on what you were saying about being able to provide that mentorship to those people in the community. And I was so thankful for that opportunity you know, talk with this guy and receive some of that wisdom. And I think that there's so many opportunities in our daily lives to receive that from others that we just kind of like, you know, just kind of completely miss and stuff like that. Like, you know, some people, you know, they call it, you know, like free game. Getting that free game, man. It's like it's invaluable. And so I really applaud you for, you know, taking that step to help those in the community. And you know, you got a community-based business, and like like seeing how passionate you are about supporting those that are around you. I wish that more people had that view, you know, of the community building, because it's like, it seems like as technology and social media and stuff's kind of coming to play.
Things for self.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
right. That it's
Absolutely.
like in a time period where people have never been more connected.
Yeah.
We're so disconnected from those that are right next to us, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's super. That is incredibly inspiring. And then to what Jay was saying about, you know, he's taken a look at his business and he's tearing it back down to the foundation and rebuilding it back up. Like, well, my thing is, it's like, you know, we talked in the past about how a lot of the people who are successful, it's not that they had a better idea than anybody else or that they had some secret or anything. You already know where this is going, right?
Just kept going.
They kept going,
kept
right?
at
They
it.
kept going and stuff. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that whenever we face a setback, it's like, do we look at that setback as a motivator? Do we use it as fuel, or do we like look at it as a reason to stop? Right? Like, yo, it's like, oh, you know, it didn't work out because I'm a failure, or you know, it didn't work out because, you know, I don't have what it takes, right? Or hey, it didn't work out, but you know what? I'm gonna take what I learned and keep pushing forward, right? It's like instead of calling yourself an idiot for your car running out of gas, be thankful that you got legs to walk to the gas station and you got enough money in your pocket to buy a tank when you get there, you know? So. You know, I think that's the
And you have a cell phone too. I'll call an Uber.
Be thankful.
Be thankful for that.
that's absolutely it.
What
But
you
yeah,
gotta do.
you know, it's been a good week, and you know, I'm super thankful that on this Sunday to end the week, you know, we're here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I do
man.
want to say, I think what just came to my mind right now is, I think I need a t-shirt business though. I do, because I come up with sayings. I do. I come up with so much. To be unstoppable is probably the greatest power that you could have.
Absolutely.
Whether it's for light or for dark, right?
Yeah.
So whether it's positive, you're unstoppable with the positive. You're unstoppable with growth, with changing, with increase, unstoppable. I mean, it could be a negative too, though. But I think what you're saying is like to be unstoppable, to be resilient. My gosh.
Yep, resilient. Yeah.
Take on the world.
Yep.
You know? Shoot.
That's my favorite word is resilient.
Resilient.
You got to go through. You have to go through struggles, and
You gotta learn from it.
Yeah, learn from it.
From it all.
Yeah.
It
So
would be a shame if you did all that and didn't learn from it.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But to add from your input though, so you said that, you know, you had to step back from your business. I had to step back from my business too, because I was just like, all right, you know, I got to rename the podcast soon. I just employed my cousin to my videography business because I was just like, kind of like in a chaotic phase. I was still in the curiosity phase, but not in the intense phase.
Okay.
So I had to like step back and kind of refocus of where I want to, have some sort of clarity of where I want to go. And I finally found that. Like a couple of weeks ago. I was just like, I think I have
feeling, huh?
It is, having a roadmap on where you want to take your business and where you want to take your trademark and your brand. So, and with community building, like you guys mentioned, today's day and age is just full of darkness, and that's why I'm titled this episode "Light in the Darkness," is because we're so distracted by what's going on in foreign affairs and what's going on with the government, what's going on with everything in our lives too, with the drama and everything. It's just so much darkness. But when we do the simple things like a podcast adding value to somebody. It's just one person. It only takes one person to
It's like the
inspire.
world stops.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Serving burgers to the community. You know, people,
Oh, yeah.
people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, people coming up to you and say thank you.
Yeah.
That's light in the darkness.
Right.
You know, that the small things is just that's light. And you know, and I see light in everybody. I see light with you guys and you. So
I think it was crazy how you mentioned, you know, when you're in the process, like you don't see it like that. You're just like,
You
I'm
don't.
back here
Right,
flipping burgers,
right,
listening
right.
to music, or I'm just doing videography, making a t-shirt, or whatever it may be. But when you look at it from an outside perspective, like you're really touching people, like
Yeah.
you're really changing people's lives and perspectives on things. And I think sometimes, like for me, tearing everything down, or you redoing everything, or renaming things, it gives you a time to step back and be like, you know, maybe I really am doing some positive work for the community,
Yeah.
right? And it's cool that we don't remind ourselves of it all the time, but when somebody comes up to you and it's like, I love what you're doing for the
Yeah.
community, I'm sure that makes you feel fantastic.
Oh man, I mean, that's my heart.
Yeah.
That's my heart. I love food. I do. I love serving
Same.
food, and I love eating food. But my heart is that communal like impact.
Yeah.
Like, I'll never forget when we first opened. I had like no staff, so I had. It's a good thing that I have a big family, because then they have that. I think all my siblings have my same work ethic. So I called on my little brother and I was like, I need you to cook for me, because I am not finding a cook right now, and it's just like me and 2 other girls right now. So he comes up and he stayed with us and he was cooking for us, and it was probably like our 15th day, no days off, just, you know, being resilient, just waking up and, you know, just working. And we had this older gentleman. He was very much into like his 90s, maybe pushing in his 80s. You know, he was up there. And he knocks on the window, and we are already prepared for the bad. I was like, dang it, this guy's probably gonna have a bad review, or maybe he didn't like his meal. I'm already on the defense, right? And I was like, hi sir, how can I, help you today? He goes, I just want to say something about that burger. And I was like, here we go. And he's like, that burger brought me back to my childhood.
nice.
And I was like, what kind of compliment is that? And I was like, Anthony, my little brother, I was like, Anthony, this guy wants to tell you something, He's like, sir, you cooked that burger? That brought me back to when I was a little kid eating here at this burger shop when I was a little kid. And I was like, I got goosebumps thinking about it right now. And I was like, how many times can you say that you've had that type of compliment just on a simple meal? Like that brought me back. And it doesn't take much, obviously, but it's the feeling, and it's the little
Absolutely.
details, and just the service, and just being present. Sometimes half the battle is just showing up. And Anthony and I were on I think we went like 25 days, no days off. Finally, I had to shut it down real quick. I was like, let's go to the brewery and let's just have a day.
Man.
Sister and brother, let's just have a day. And it was just that work ethic, though. We were just showing up and feeling like we weren't making headway. We were just digging ourselves into this pit. I think that's the imagery. It's like starting a business. Are we really going forward, or are we just going down? What are we doing right now? And those types of compliments picked us back up. Okay, we are going forward. We're not in a ditch. Why did we think that we were in a ditch? We are going forward. It's all the perspective. It's all that mindset. And
That's awesome.
I hold on to those types of compliments.
That's good. Yeah, and that's a noble thing to do, is when you change somebody's lives like that, because today people are just chasing the title, right? The CEO of a company,
right.
or the vice president of some A and B whatever company, right? But it's the community building, and that's what I like. I just inspiring people to do better.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But you also ran for city council.
I did.
How was that? How was that experience?
So, city council prepped me for this, for owning Picks. Man, I am just getting this tough skin, and I don't think it's going to be used. And I'm thinking, future wise. Like, I think that everything is for a purpose, right? So all these situations we're going through, all these seasons, I call them seasons. All these seasons I've gone through, I don't think it's necessarily tough skin to be hard on people and to be this, you see all over Instagram and Kim Kardashian, you better work and be a boss babe. I'm like, no, I don't want to be that. I am a boss babe, but I don't want to be this like really rough type of woman. I want to be virtuistic, and I want to be loving as a boss babe, you know? And so I think city council was kind of the first step to being that. And 2 years ago, I had lost my job due to COVID, and my husband kept working. Jed's daycare shut down, and so I was forced to be the stay-at-home mom, where before I would work the morning shift at a pretty high-end restaurant in Healdsburg, and then Isaac would work the night shift at a winery. So Isaac and I never saw each other. We would like high five and bye. Who's gonna watch the kid? Who's gonna drop him off and do daycare and stuff? So COVID shut that all off. And I know a lot of things had happened during COVID, and I really do sympathize with families that have lost, family members and things that have happened. But there was a lot of good that came out of that life stop, and the good thing that came out of it for my family was we got to go back to the basics, and we got to learn our family dynamic, which, was our foundation. And I became a stay-at-home mom. Isaac kept working, and Jed and I were just like having fun. And we were going to the park, we were going to the museum, we were baking every day. And I was like, okay, this is fun. After like the second week, this is fun. I'm bored. I'm like, this is never like, this is not like me. I came from the military, and I've worked all my life, and I'm not a stay-at-home mom, and I'm like, I love seeing my little guy grow, but I'm bored.
Yeah.
And so I started just researching programs and who our city council leaders are and what they stand for and what's going on right now, because I was getting all my news from the media, and what's the new updates and what's the restrictions with COVID, and there's fires happening too, like with Sonoma County. What the heck is happening? Because our city was just quiet.
A lot.
Yeah, I was getting all the news from Santa Rosa, Healdsburg, Petaluma, but like Cloverdale was just not up with social media. They were not up on like going live. I saw the mayor from Healdsburg go on live, and literally there was a fire behind him. He's like, "Yeah, guys, there's a fire." I'm like, "Why aren't we doing like something like that?" Right?
Yeah.
So I talked to my mom. My mom has a good friend that kind of mentors her politically, and I was like, Mom, I don't know, but I just feel this unction to like put my name in the ballot, like put my name in the race. And she's like, why not? Like, of course, that's a great idea. Of course, city council. And I started doing some research on what it entails. And it's a pretty big job. In a small town, it's a pretty big job for no money. But if it's community driven, it shouldn't be for any money, right? And so I put my name in, and I was so nervous. I swore in again for like I'm used to this. I put my name down, and I felt like the wolves came after me because I was the youngest. I think all across Sonoma County, I was the youngest candidate. I'm Latina, and I was a veteran, so I had that on my. My political paperwork, and I ran as a conservative, and I'm like, I'm a unicorn in Sonoma County. I was a unicorn. And so nobody liked that. I could barely get endorsements. I won't say who the organization is, but basically they promote young voters in Sonoma County, and they wouldn't even give me a conversation. And I'm like, I'm the youngest candidate in Sonoma County.
Crazy.
That's kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
And so I just felt this agitation, and why is there so much pushback? And it's because I am different, and I did bring in this light, right? I brought in this light in a dark kind of setting, and
They don't like that.
and it wasn't. No, it was really weird.
Yeah.
It was really weird. And I think another factor too is that I'm not from Cloverdale, so Cloverdale votes who their grandpas went to,
Right.
play ball
They keep
with.
it
and
in-house type
you
deal.
keep it very tight knit, and so it's kind of funny now that I have the oldest business in town. I don't know what I'll do with that. But I learned a lot. I learned my voice. Running for council, I earned my voice, and there was a lot of hiccups. I wasn't a perfect candidate. I really wasn't. I just was genuine, and I didn't have the speeches. I didn't have a campaign manager. I'm just like, I'm here just to be a voice for moms, for dads, for parents, for just people my age that really don't know what's going on in the world of COVID and the shutdowns and the fires. And I just wanted to be a positive outlet. And it kind of got turned into just me being like this, like, you're gonna push an agenda. And I was like, if I'm going to get voted in, there is no agenda. I'm just here to serve the community. But because I ran as conservative, I was automatically pointed out to be this, like, you have an agenda.
It sounded like there's already one being held before you got there. You know, if they're so scared of you.
Right.
If they're so scared, like, oh, she's going to push an agenda. Okay, well, are you scared of the agenda changing?
Yeah.
Or,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and I think if I were to run again and if I were to win, I would not have that agenda. I would have my conservative viewpoints, right, and just bring those to the conversation and to the table. But I wouldn't be so agenda focused.
Right.
And I think that's where we've really lost
That's
it
been a
with
problem,
leadership.
yeah.
Because you start looking in these people's pocketbooks. It's like that's where the agendas are coming. And
Absolutely.
It's like, you can't buy me. You can't buy me.
Money, bro.
Hey, we're watching episode 9, Truth and Politics.
Yes, I was gonna say the same thing.
You have to. You gotta look
Oh
at
my
these pocketbooks.
goodness.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do a Truth and Politics part 2.
Part 2, with Nicole.
Yes.
Well, and it's funny too because I was up till midnight. Mind you, I campaigned day and night. My son was 2 at the time, and I canvassed the town with I had cute little flyers. I took a cute little photo. I got my hair and makeup done. I looked like a little Sarah Palin. I did. I was Cloverdale Sarah Palin. I was so cute. And I canvassed the town. I did. I knocked on every door, and they didn't know who I was, but I'm going to tell you who I am. And I went to businesses, and I think even one morning I wear leggings a lot. I love, all women, we love leggings. I had actually ripped holes in my pants and my shoes because that's how much I walked that day from neighborhood to neighborhood because I was so focused. It's like, I don't care if I look like a bum. I'm gonna canvass the town. And I stayed up that night during I think it was November 20th, election night, and I kept refreshing the page, and I came in dead last. I got, I think 1,300 votes. But that's 1,300 people that believed in me, right?
The light in the darkness.
Right?
The light in the darkness.
Like I came in dead last, but there's 1,300 people in Cloverdale that liked me, that not liked me, but liked what I stood for.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I was in a really deep depression after that. Like for 4 or 5 days, I did not get out of bed. I was so hurt because I put so much time and effort, and I rode it with my kid in a little buggy thing all around town. I was, where I could have been at the park or, baking with my son at home. I was canvassing this town, and I remember I had a dream. Like on the 4th or 5th night. It always starts with a dream. And I had this dream, and I was in this farm store, and it was just a beautiful, Christmas lit farm store with Christmas lights, and there was just fresh produce. There was events. There was an auditorium outside. There was a woodworking area, and it was just this beautiful farm.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was so real. It was such a real dream. And so I think that morning, it was 4 or 5 in the morning, and I woke up and I just started journaling this dream that I had. And I'm like, what is this dream? What is this farm? Where is this farm? I started researching, is there a farm in Sonoma County like this, right? And it was this educational farm. And I started kind of diving into this idea. And I'd reached out to a few leaders and a few different people that I've known that have access to something like this. And I was kind of laughed at and wasn't taken seriously. And so I put it on pause because there's this farm vision that needs to come to life. It does. It's this beautiful farm vision, and I have a whole business plan on it. And I think that's where PICS is necessary, because PICS is my foot into community service, right? Not free service, but serving the community and really establishing myself as a community leader. I mean, I sponsor T-ball, I sponsor Ponytail, I sponsor, all this stuff. And I'm really getting known as a community leader. And in the back of my mind, every day, I have this farm vision in the back of my mind. I'm on the grill, I'm listening to, my Fleetwood Mac, and I'm flipping burgers, but every time I send something out, I have this farm vision in the back of my head. And I can't help but think that that's my motivation. That's my end point, maybe, or my next step is this nonprofit farm to feed kids, to feed families, to a therapy, if you will, woodworking, auditorium, education, to learn how to eat. Learn how, like a food program where you know where your food's coming from.
Right.
It's not just like, I got fast food, or I'm getting organic because it's at Safeway, but that organic Safeway tomato came from Visalia. It didn't come from this soil, and I think there's a really big, disconnect on food, where it comes from. And I think it's, I don't want to say it's my job, but I think that that's my call. To start to educate in that sense, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it starts with pigs. It starts with
That
pigs.
that's awesome. Because I had a similar experience with that too.
Oh, really?
2019, before the pandemic hit, I've always disregarded this calling, this creative calling, this videography thing, video, right? And I've always in this mindset, how are you gonna make money doing creative stuff? Just stick with the traditional 9 to 5, retire until you get old. And then I said, you know what? I might as well just pursue this. Whatever God is telling me right now, because there's got to be a reason why He put it in you. And I've always disregarded that calling forever, and I was scared of it. And then I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna pick up a camera and make content. And when I made content, it fulfilled me. I was like, God, what are you trying to say? Like, what are you trying to do right now? So from that point on, I was just like, you know what? All right, I think this is my mission. This is my calling. So even with the podcast, and when I met Jay and Mike and Zach, I was like, dude, this is God sent.
Yeah.
Like something is happening right now. Like, so that's why I had to pursue this whole media thing, this whole podcast thing, because I was just like, maybe I am a voice for a reason, that we all are.
You are,
Yeah.
for sure.
Absolutely. Definitely that light in the darkness,
So, yeah. Goosebumps.
Absolutely.
One of my favorite verses is John 10:10, and I live on this verse. But John 10:9 says, the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And that could be anything.
Right.
Steal your peace, kill your future, destroy any opportunity. Like, you could name whatever the enemy wants to take. But I come to give you life. Not just life, but life abundantly.
Right.
And I want to pursue that life abundantly caveat. Like, what is life abundantly?
Right.
Because I think sometimes we live life, and we're healthy, we have our green juice, we go on a hike, but what's that life abundantly part?
Right.
Is that no stress? Is that no chaos? Is that no, attacks? No, but it's the resiliency, the strength to get through all that. That's the abundant, that's the fruit.
That's the fruit.
Yeah.
High five.
There's only one way to find out. There's only one way to find that out.
Wow. Sweet. We'll take a 5-minute pause, 5-minute break, and we'll get back to recording.
All right.
All right.
Need fingerprinting? There's only one local live scan company to trust. Ameriprints Live Scan Fingerprint Services. Here's Ameriprints founder Alan Cox.
I opened Ameriprints back in 2005 as the first private service provider for live scan fingerprinting in Sonoma County. We have perfected the process and ensured our community a safe, secure, educated, and most importantly, a qualified business to handle confidential fingerprint information. I have over 20 years of active duty military experience dealing directly with background checks and the live scan process. My employees and I are thoroughly trained and utilize the latest technology to ensure your fingerprints and personal data are delivered immediately and securely to the California Department of Justice. The minute you walk through the door, you'll feel confident knowing fingerprinting is our only business, and your information will be properly processed.
Ameriprints, with locations in Santa Rosa, Petaluma, San Rafael, and Rohnert Park. Go to ameriprints.com or call 707-588-9866.
We are back, and all right, so we're gonna go over some topics here. Nicole, you're just an experienced speaker, very confident. It's just like, man, she's on it. But there's a topic here that I want to talk about, and it's something that I actually found on the internet, and it's I posted this on the Table Podcast Instagram page, and it says, most people are unaware that the years they spend attempting to climb the corporate ladder are valuable hours that could have been spent developing a company that they actually love. We have jobs because we want to feel safe, but when we labor exclusively for financial security, the depletion of our mental resources becomes the true cost. What do you guys think about that?
I feel like you said that one before. I feel like I've heard that before, and it's true. The times, I'll keep it short, but the hours you spend, building somebody else's dream, could have been building your own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll leave it there.
Absolutely. I completely agree. And it's one of those things where I think that those people are victims of not having a plan. It is completely fine. It's more than fine, right? Like it can be a strategy to say, hey, I'm going to grind it out at this company that I don't plan on being at forever in order to get myself in a position to do what I want to do forever, right? Yeah. Like if you hate your boss or you hate your coworkers, you can't stand, waking up to that alarm clock and this, that, and the other, right? It's only a disservice to yourself if you're not using it to serve yourself.
Get out. Yeah.
Right? So you use it to serve yourself. Like take this as an opportunity to say, hey, you know what? I have a 5-year plan or a 10-year plan or even a 20-year plan. And make sure that you're doing everything, as Zach would say, with intentions, right? Make sure that you're taking those actions with intentions and you're not just getting up, punching the clock, 9 to 5, and letting life dictate where you go. Like use it as a stepping stone.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I think the 9 to 5 is cruel. It is cruel. Yeah. I had always said that to my husband too. Like, I actually pushed him to be the entrepreneur. And I was like, you should start your own, whatever. Just start something, whatever. I tried to narrow it down. And I was like, what are your interests? What do you like? You like to fish. You like to drink beer. You like to woodwork. Yeah. Like, let's try to find something that you like to do and you make a business. I'll help you. Because I was the one in business school, right? So I'm like, I will market for you. I will do inventory for you. Be your accountant. I'll do it all. And he was really hesitant. He was very comfortable in the 9 to 5, right? So I think you have that comfortability too. Mm-hmm. And when you're comfortable and you're getting, your 2-week paid vacation and you got a little bonus here and there and you like the Friday pizza lunch and what is it, jean day on Mondays or whatever.
Hawaiian shirt day. Yeah.
But like,
that's why they do that. To keep you comfortable.
It's really hard to get out of something that you're comfortable in. Yeah. It's very, very difficult. And once you are tired of it, I think sometimes it's that agitation that will just catapult you out. Right. I mean, I remember one of the duties I would do at my previous job, I would sit there and fold linens, but the linens had to be folded so perfectly because this was a Michelin-starred restaurant, and so they would come and measure the linens.
What did they used to call the corners on the bed?
The hospital corners. Right? So I was so good at it. I was so good at it because I did this in boot camp, Yeah. And I remember I would listen to podcasts like this podcast. I would sit there and listen to the Entrepreneur Farmer and like the Entrepreneur Lady, like all these entrepreneur podcasts. And I would sit there and listen. And as I'm folding these napkins, I would just get this unction, like this excitement. Like, I want to do that. I need to put this in my notes because I need to remember that. I didn't know what my 5-year plan was. I was in the middle of a job, and I didn't know I was going to be a business owner. But I think sometimes it comes by chance, right? Like for my instance, it came by really chance. I didn't have a 5-year plan, but also it comes if you're just tired of being comfortable and you take that chance. Like whatever you're interested in, like if there's somebody that, I don't know how to be an entrepreneur. It sounds freeing, but I don't know how to be that. How do I become that? I think what I was trying to do with my husband is narrow it down to, your interests, your passions, the things that make you excited, that make you smile. If it's baking, if it's coloring, whatever it is, if it's being outside. And I think if we do it for the passion and not for the paycheck,
Right.
that's where we can become so successful.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow.
Can I speak
Very
on the
powerful.
comfortability aspect?
Yeah, go ahead.
That's it.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
I think I see this with a lot of people, even that I love to death, like some of my family members and stuff. And I noticed that the comfort has just like shaped the way that they live, sort of, kind of, you know. And to speak on myself, you know, a lot of my, it might look like it because I try to keep like a happy-go-lucky, you know, I'm always good. I'm Jay from the Bay, baby. You know, like I'm always
Jay from the
solid.
Bay, yeah.
But a lot of my life has been uncomfortable. It's been uncomfortable situations, like, you know, being an addict or alcohol, or, you know, sports can be uncomfortable. The gym is always uncomfortable. Like a lot of stuff, a lot of things in my life are I don't do it because it's comfortable. I kind of do it because now I'm comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, that's where entrepreneurship for me is like, that's mine. Like, I gotta do that. Like, I have to go this way.
Yeah, right.
Because, but it's, I think the discomfort that I've experienced in my life has made entrepreneurship not easier, but easier to stick with, easier to not give up. Because I'm like, no, this is the road, baby. Like I'm going down it. You can come or you can watch from the stands, but this is getting done, you know. So I think, you know, like, you know, when I go back to seeing a lot of people in my life, and if you're comfortable there and if that's what you want, fine, nothing wrong with that. Like Mike said, that's more than okay.
Yeah.
But don't sit there and be in comfort and then wonder why you don't have certain things that you talk that you say that
That's
you
good.
that you want.
Yep.
You know, if you're gonna be comfortable and shut up. You know, you know. But yeah.
Yeah, if you chose to be comfortable and you're complaining about, you know, things that, you know, you wish you had,
It's not gonna come from
It's not gonna.
comfort.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and I think
Absolutely.
too, like somebody had told me this a while ago, and it's stuck. You know, there's some people in life that are meant to make the coffee at church. That's just their call. They're meant to make the coffee at church. They're meant to be the greeter. They're meant to be, you know, the person that fulfills the little, the little envelopes. But then there's those people that are meant to be the ones in the trenches. They're meant to go out to the highways and the byways, and they're those
The grunts of it.
yeah, really, yeah, thank you. But how do we get to that? How do we get from being the coffee maker, right, and just being the person that's always been in this repetition and comfortable, to being this radical, like, you know, no limits kind of person? And it's all in the mind. It's a mindset.
Yeah.
It is.
You have to change
Absolutely.
your paradigm. You do.
And I think it comes from wanting more for yourself or for the people around you. Like I think about business and the goals that I want to achieve, and it's not so much just for myself, but it's because I want to put my parents away. You know, I want to go. You know, I want to hit up all you guys and be like, we're going to Jamaica today, baby. Not because we're trying to stunt or be flashy,
Right,
but so that we can go have that experience with each other. You know, it ain't for social media, it ain't for anybody else,
Right.
but it's for us to enjoy the little time that we're blessed with here, you know, so that we can make those memories.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I think people sometimes are very risk averse. And I think that's how, you know, us as a species have been able to thrive for so long, is because we avoided those dangers and stuff, right? We're out there, you know, trying to track down that woolly mammoth, but then, you know, we're like, yo, that smells like a saber-toothed tiger. Y'all smell that? All right, let's go back this way, right?
Yeah.
And so,
Regroup.
let's go back and regroup, right? And so, throughout history, you know, we see those instances where great atrocities were conducted because people were like, okay, well, this might be happening to this group, but I'm safe, right?
But I'm good.
Yeah, right. So we try to, us as a species, you know, we avoid risk, and so I think having the ability to overcome that, right? It's just like having the ability to say, you know what, I'm an adult. I can eat ice cream for every single meal if I want to. Nobody's gonna stop me, right? The only thing that's stopping me is there's
Your
something
heart.
right.
Literally, his heart.
Yeah, literally, right? But yeah, it's like what stops you from doing that, right? As an adult, right? What stops you from giving into your base instincts? It's your higher level thought process, your higher level reasoning. So that same reasoning, like you said, can be utilized to to reshape how you view it and be like, hey, I understand that there are risks associated with this, but look at the gain.
Yeah.
And it's that risk versus the
Right.
gain,
Risk
right?
versus the
Like,
gain.
yo, there is risk, but what can I gain from it, you know?
Yeah.
And as far as one thing that I've noticed with Barry, with Jay, with Zach, with you, with Seafood, with Manisha, with everybody who's been involved with this project, it all goes back to community building. Every single person has been doing something that is community related, focused on community building and uplifting those around them. Every single person, right?
Yeah.
And I don't believe that it's a coincidence that so many people who have that passion in the background have been able to come together and be a part of this project. I think that each one of us, every person out there has this thing inside of them. And that's the thing that if they go see a good movie, they go out and they tell other people, hey man, you gotta check this movie out. If they read a good book, they go out and they tell other people, oh man, you gotta check out this book. If they go to an awesome restaurant, have a good meal, they go out and tell other people, right? They don't keep, nobody's ever had like one of your burgers and then just be like, I'm gonna keep this to myself. No, they go out and they share that, right? And I think that some people have a stronger drive in that sense than others.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Just like how you said, some people make the coffee, some people are out there,
In the trenches.
out there in the trenches, right?
Right.
I think that the people that are out there in the trenches like that are the ones who they just have a stronger drive for that, right?
Exactly.
Just like how some people have a really, really high like fitness drive or team coordination drive, and then we see them become pro athletes, right? Or some people have a really, really high attention to detail and stuff, right? And we see them take more analytical careers and stuff, right? I think that there's a group of people out there, right, who there's something in their nature that it inspires and it motivates and it drives them to share good things with their community, right?
Yeah.
They're the ancestors way down the line that would, they'd be like, oh man, that fruit or that berry, that thing tastes good. Hey guys, hey, check this out. Yo, check out this bush, right? Check this. Hey, you guys come check this out, right? And so I think that, us as a society, we would not be where we are right now if it wasn't for people with that drive to share good things, right?
Absolutely.
Like look at all the technology
Right, I
that
was
we have
gonna
access
say,
to, right?
Yeah.
It's all because somebody had a passion, right? And there's people out there who think, they're just doing it for financial gain, right? Or this, that, and the other. If you look at all of the free software that's out there,
Right.
you look at all the free stuff that's being put on YouTube and stuff.
I use it to help create
Right?
clothes.
Right?
Yeah.
People are constantly putting out free,
Game.
beneficial,
Free game.
free game, right? People are constantly putting out free game, and it's like, it's because they're driven
Right.
by that quality.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can learn any skill nowadays
Yeah.
through online.
Right.
You don't even have to go to college anymore.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it was just like everybody just goes to college, right?
YouTube University.
I was gonna say, don't some universities actually put like whole curriculum?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you can even just like learn certificates online now too. Like Google has their own certificates and stuff like that. So it's
Yeah, I went through a training that was held remotely from Virginia.
Yeah.
And I showed you some of the YouTube. They had a bunch of YouTube videos for that training.
absolutely. I think what the pandemic did positively was that it made everybody have
I
access.
need to have my
Yeah.
own back.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what happened to us. I think, like I mentioned earlier, like obviously there was a lot of, sorrow, right?
Yeah.
There was a lot of negativity, but I think like what you were saying about being like a bearer of positivity, that was really the only reason I ran for city council. Yeah. I'm not a politician. I didn't have, congressmen saying, hey, you need to run because I need this seat and we're going to work together to get this building made. I didn't have that. I know those conversations now because I'm exposed to them, and I put my, I have my feet wet now with politics. But the main reason I ran was because I was so tired of the negative news. I was so tired of the negative media. I was so tired of just, in these times, I was so tired of that. In these times, in these trying times. And I'm like, where's the goodness at? Where's the positivity at?
Because it didn't all just stop.
Well, right. And I was just kind of like thinking, there's no politician right now or no city leader, just like, I don't want to say even politician, just no leader right now that has good news.
Right.
Like, hey, even in the midst of all this, we're doing this right now. Absolutely. We're doing this. You know what it was? It was small business owners and it was nonprofits that were doing these meal drives. They were doing these community events. It wasn't the politicians.
And where was the coverage?
Yeah, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. It was these. I remember even in Cloverdale, there were these women that would literally spend hours just making masks and giving them out for free. And they were hand sewn masks. Like the Meals on Wheels, Sonoma Family Meal, that was like all over Sonoma County. There was restaurants that would just make meals for, just for like the elderly homes, like the old folks homes. And so just stuff like that. And that's the positivity that I wanted to like really have it be a focal point of my campaign. And it just kind of gotten, it just really got drained out by my political preference, and that was what was kind of sad. But something that I think I've learned, being the face of this business, is that if you want something done politically nowadays, you almost have to do it yourself privately. You do. Yeah. You have to just put your name on the lease, put your name on on that DBA, and if you want that done, and if you want relief in this program, or you want more funding over here, you have to kind of. And if you feel that unction and you feel that call, then maybe that's what God is telling you. Like there's that I'm putting that weight on you, but
it's to get you to move.
It's to get you to move.
Yeah.
It's to get you to feel uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
And God will do that.
Absolutely.
He will put that weight on you just
wow.
to get you out of what you were doing. And there's so many times I've had weights put on me. And, in my times of prayer, I would be like, Lord, this is heavy. I cannot do this anymore.
So yes, you can.
But
And you will.
I'm with you. It's not too heavy because I'm carrying that yoke with you. I'm carrying that with you. Yeah. And then all of a sudden I meet somebody or an opportunity or, checks in the mail or whatever, something like that happens. And I'm like, okay, that's my confirmation. But, I think being a bearer of positivity, being a community-driven leader, that's what we're missing in a lot of our leadership nowadays. Right. We're missing the back to the basics. Like, where did you come from? You weren't always in an office with a, 3-piece suit with a secretary. Like, you came from a farm or a private school, or excuse me, a public school. You weren't always this unreachable person. Right. And I think that's the disconnect between leader and society is be available, be approachable. And don't intimidate your peers and your constituents. Your constituents are the people that believe in you, and you can't even face them. I think that's what I feel specifically in Sonoma County is a problem with our leadership.
Right.
We need to send what you just said to Congress.
Absolutely.
Don't even get me started.
Don't
even get me started.
Oh,
We'll be another hour on this reel.
That is. Well, we are dropping bars today, left and right.
We got bars to go around.
We got bars today. Wow, this is it's good stuff. But all right, next topic. Entrepreneurs and millionaires, right? They have on average 7 sources of income. So back to the basics, right? We have active income and we have passive income. Passive income is, you work on something, like let's say you want to publish a book and it earns money, right? And you just earn money in your sleep. Active income is you go to work 9 to 5, and you earn income that way, right? Hourly. But can you use your active income to become a passive income? By what? By investing on real estate, stocks, education. What do you guys think on 7 sources of income as an entrepreneur? Do you think we could adjust that sometimes? Like you don't necessarily need 7. Maybe you need 5, or maybe you need 4.
I did hear someone speak on that, and they said, it's good to have. I think they use 7 sources of income also, but he was like, you can't do all 7 at the same time. You have to get one set,
Right.
Yep.
and then you
Yes.
can focus on the next one and focus on the next one. But if you just try to grab all 7 at the same time, I don't know anybody who's ever done that, but that seems like that could be pretty difficult because you're going to be stretched in a lot of different places. If you could clone yourself, cool. But he was saying so. The active income, right? We'll use that to get to your first passive, right? Focus on that passive, make sure it's strong, and it's hitting on all cylinders. And then you can get to number 2. Focus on number 2, build number 2, and then it's compounding, right?
Yeah.
So now you have more revenue, and then 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7 are a lot easier to get to because you have 1, 2, and 3 that are really solid. But he was just saying like you can't do all 7 at once.
No.
You got to get 1, use your 1 to make 2 strong, use 1 and 2 to make 3 strong, and then as you get further down the line, because you'll have more revenue and more not just revenue, like your connections, you have more connections, your market, your all your skills sharpen, and then your networking also, so you know more people who may be into what you're doing. So start with 1, focus on 1, build 1, get 1 strong.
Boom, boom, boom.
Then go down the line.
Yeah.
I think of someone like my dad, for example. My family has a corporation, and that didn't come, even in the first 5 years. It wasn't. This has taken probably 25 years to just be a machine, really.
Right.
And what it started out was just him being a bail bondsman for another guy, and he was working bail and had 3 kids and was just trying to put food on the table. And then it turned into him having his own bail bonds company, being the person to actually call the shots and have his name on the cards. Then owning he bought a property, and it was really a rundown bar, and they tore it all down, built up a building, and now he has 4 rental properties on that, with his bail bonds company. So that's it kind of progressed to a passive income to have rental, right? So now he has rent. Then it turned into the winery. So my dad started growing grapes in Oakdale, and then it took about 6 years to get like that first harvest,
Right.
And then they have the winery. Well, the winery makes money based on just the sales of the wine, and now the wine bar. So the wine bar is food and wine, and now that's kind of expanding. They might want to do another location. That gave my dad room to actually become an investor to a company up here, and so he has this network circle. But it was almost like, I want to say, creative access. Right. So it's not just going to be, I woke up one day and I went to Starbucks, and now I want to be an owner of a Starbucks, and I'm going to do my own coffee company here while I own Starbucks here. It wasn't that at all. It was more of creative access. My dad is a very creative person, and he's very driven, and he's constantly, moving to where, not that it wasn't enough with just the bail bonds, but the way my dad is and the way my parents are, their entrepreneurship, they knew they wanted more.
Wow.
They had 4 kids. They knew they wanted to create this empire, if you will.
Right.
So now all of us kids are over 18, and now we have our foot in the door now.
Right.
We have these opportunities that we can take from, right?
Right.
So, it's kind of like this generational blessing, if you will, that my dad's created from the ground up. And so now my son can have a taste of it when he gets, of age, and his first job will probably be at Pix or something, you know what I mean? Something like that. And I think that the creative access, just to have that drive and creativity, to to know when to invest in a passive income, right? It's not just going to be your buddy's, business down the road in an apartment. It's always going to be perfect, right? It's going to be the risk, like what you're saying. It has to be a risk. And my dad's taken a lot of risks. I mean, we've seen, I think that's one thing of being a child of an entrepreneur, yes, but entrepreneur parents. You don't see a power couple like that very often. I tried to be that with Isaac, and I don't think we're done yet, obviously. But it's hard. It's hard to be a co-operable entrepreneur couple. It's so hard to be that power couple. And my parents have done it, and I think that they are still doing it. And I think that they, they're just so creative. They're so driven, and that's what's given them that creative access to just the opportunities to invest, the opportunities to be, to be a wine owner, the wine bar owner, and like I said, it's we've seen the ups and downs being a child of entrepreneurs. We've seen the dry times, but we've definitely seen the very fertile times where it's been like, this is great, and what I appreciate about them is that they've never let their outside circumstances dictate their next move.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, there's been times when, like, just, putting it back to pigs, we had just opened that first month, and I think we ran out of caramel sauce for our milkshakes. And this guy privately messaged me on Facebook, and he was like, you shouldn't even be open because you don't have caramel sauce. And I'm like, imagine if I took that advice, right?
Yeah.
Imagine. Because caramel sauce was what was really the money maker here.
Yeah.
Right?
Some people just don't have a lot to do.
Right. Yeah. But I think what I really appreciate and honor my parents for, obviously being my parents, but as business partners with them now, is that they have always been so secure in their faith, but secure in how do I want to say it? Like the faith of the risk, right? Knowing that no matter what the outcome is, there's going to be growth. There's going to be opportunity. There's going to be positivity. There's going to be something good that we learn from this. Everything comes in full circle. So if we did this and there was no fruit, it's going to come in another season then. Because sometimes you plant the vineyard now, but you don't get the wine till 10 years later, you know? So I think that type of mindset is so powerful when starting a business, when talking about passive and active income. You invest now for that wine in 10 years.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right, absolutely.
That's that unstoppable mindset.
Yeah.
That is an unstoppable.
No, you need to meet my parents. They are unstoppable.
Hey, season 2. Season 2.
The parents.
That's gonna be
Season 2.
That's gonna be so
Absolutely.
yeah, that's gonna be so
That's an abundance mindset.
Yeah.
That's
It totally is.
Would they be
Totally
down?
is.
Would your parents be down?
You don't even have to tell my mom twice. She's already getting her hair done. Oh, they're not going to see me? Okay.
Let her know. I'll get her information.
My
too.
mom actually, I think you guys can Google this. So my dad was a big Marvel and DC comic nerd, right? In high school and stuff.
Same.
So, and I still am. I am. And I love that Jed is so involved with Spider-Man and Captain America and stuff like that. But so my dad, he's a marketing guru. I swear. He's just so great at marketing. And he knows what the people want. He just does. I don't get it. I want that. I want what he has. And to market the bail bonds business, and not he wanted to market it as approachable, right? Where you don't know who's going to go. You don't know who's going to go to jail. And when you think of a bail bondsman, you kind of think of like a grubby, office corner that you rent probably for $100, and you also think of Dog the Bounty Hunter, right?
Yeah,
you really think of like either a person that's probably going to kick your butt or somebody that's in the corner. So my dad created this character with my mom being the character, and it was Bail Bond Girl, and she had the full suit. She had the masks, she had the cape, and it was the superhero of bail. Let Bail Bond Girl give you freedom from bail or something like that. I was in a few of the commercials.
I need to talk to her.
That started their empire, if you will. That started their marketing, and so that kind of turned into my mom being this hometown celebrity. You're a Bail Bond Girl? No, I'm not Bail Bond Girl. And I went in high school. Oh my gosh, high school and in school, I would get teased so much. Like, like, your mom's bail bond girl? Your mom's on the Suburban, you know? And I'm like, yeah, that's my mom. You know, do you wear the suit at home? No, it's not weird. It's not weird like that, right?
Yeah, right.
And so my
Oh my
mom,
gosh.
she's very flamboyant and she's very personable and she's a character. She's just very, very colorful. And so she's been in pageants. She's been in commercials. I mean, she was on A Good Day America, I think, for the wine bar, for how she cooks. She's very TV friendly. So growing up with parents like that, you know, one that's just so genius and one that's just very, you know, just on, right? Like a character. I grew up with a very, very colorful family and, you know, there's pros and cons to that, obviously, but I totally honor my parents for who they are and I love them and I wouldn't be who I am if they didn't encourage me and push me and tell me yes and, you know, just keep giving me those affirmations that, you know, that I needed to be me today.
Nice.
So.
Nice. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
They know you can do
Absolutely.
it. They know you can do it.
Oh yeah. Well, I think every mom, you know, every mom and dad, you know, you want to run for president? Do it. Do it. You know, and
Yeah,
it's
that's
like,
my mom.
I'm
Shit.
pretty sure if I told my mom or my brother Anthony told my mom, they'd be like, duh, do it. You're supposed to do it.
Yeah.
Like we prayed about this.
Wow.
Or someone less qualified. will
Right.
go do it.
That's awesome. All right. We're closing. We're in the near of the show right now. Nicole, where can people find you?
Oh my gosh. If I'm not at home with my lovely little, you know, munchkin, I'm flipping burgers and making shakes at pigs.
Nice. Do you guys have a website, Instagram?
We're in construction with the website, but Instagram, Facebook, DoorDash even. We just got on DoorDash. So that's kind of been a hype in Cloverdale because there's like nobody on DoorDash in Cloverdale. But yeah, so I try to do some reels and some fun stuff on Instagram. And we're going to be doing some collaborations this summer too. There's a lot of great local creameries in Sonoma County. They do you know, the freshest ice cream with mint grown in the farm type of stuff, you know, and it's, I want to bring that to Cloverdale. I want to bring some like really kind of funky, fun stuff to the drive-in and do some collaborations with some chef friends, maybe some like tap takeovers with our beers and maybe have some live music. But, you know, last summer, I didn't want to do anything. I was like, I just need to perfect this model before I can even think about doing anything.
Nice.
But this year, we're going into Friday Night Live, which is a farmer's market every Friday night through the summer in Cloverdale. And we are so prepared. We are so prepared. And I'm so excited. And I think my team is as well. I think they like it when I'm happy.
Yeah.
They don't like Nicole when she's stressed. And so they're excited. And it's, you know, we had a team meeting the other day and everyone's like, I can't wait for summer. And, you know, summer's so great. And that's our peak season. That's our season to shine. And we're so excited to bring that to Cloverdale. So.
Yeah. There you go, folks. People in Petaluma, Santa Rosa, head on to Cloverdale. Get some of a Pix Burgers because I'm definitely gonna get some too.
Get your pigs fixed. Get your pigs fixed.
And for the Facebook and the Instagram, how do you spell it?
So Instagram would be Pix Drive-In Cloverdale.
Pix Drive-In.
And then Facebook is Pix Drive-In.
Pix Drive-In.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Also, this is Mike's kind of like last episode for season one. But this was a very successful season. And I couldn't have done it without you guys, Nicole, and all our guests, Manisha, Seafood Damon Evans,
Sterling.
Elke, Sterling. You guys made this happen, and I just want to say thank you. And to the listeners out there, we want to say thank you for supporting us.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, it wouldn't really be a podcast without somebody listening to it. So we appreciate all you guys, and we might not have met you personally, but you know, through this podcast, you know, we got acquainted a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. You know, for the listeners, this has definitely been an honor, sharing my thoughts and views and stuff like that, and you know, getting a chance to hear everybody else's thoughts and views. And I want to give a huge thank you to Barry, because brother,
Same.
You are the
He's our Tony Stark.
absolutely man. Yes, dude.
Thank
You
you,
have
Barry.
been such a driving force behind this process and stuff.
Yeah.
And we talk about community building today, and you've been building a community. And I feel like this being season 1, wow. When I think about the progress that we made from
the first
episode
one.
one to this episode, right? Like,
Leaps and bounds.
oh yeah, like I mean, we started off as just us, and we're sitting around, we're talking and stuff, this, that, and the other, right? And then we finally started getting guests. You got us monetized. You started, you got us advertised and stuff. The growth process over these few episodes has been amazing, and I love the fact that we were able to come back here today, the same building that we did the very first episode in, because we got people walking by, we got stuff like that.
We got the echoes,
echoes, doors opening and closing and stuff, and I'm looking forward to those future episodes, right? When we're in our own studio.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And we
Right,
will be.
that see,
We will be.
seeing that, to see that growth and stuff. Hey, people will always be able to come back and look at this season and be like, wow,
Look how far if they can do it.
exactly right. And it's that progress over time, and that's one of the things that we really wanted to get out to everybody that's listening and watching is, it's progress over time. If given enough time, you can progress. You can build and craft that lifestyle that you desire. One of Barry's last questions was about the 7 streams of income and stuff, and building passive income and stuff. And one of the things is, we as humans, we're very risk averse, except for when it comes to our job, right? We'll sit there and we'll work at one job. Yet we don't like to think about the fact that if that job requires manual labor, we're one accident away from not having that income, right? If that job is dependent on having a good relationship with our supervisor, we're one bad day away from losing that job. That's why having multiple streams of income is so important, is because those other streams start to provide that safety net, that real security. If you only have one source of income, you have one source of a paycheck, you are one bad day away from having no income.
Absolutely.
And you can, we do this thing where, just like how when we were kids, if we were scared of the dark, we get in our bed and we cover, we cover up under the covers and stuff like that, as if covers can stop whatever it is we're afraid of. Well, we do the same thing as adults when it comes to work, right? But the blanket is, we say to ourselves, oh, well, I'll get unemployment, or, oh, if they terminate me wrongfully, I'll sue them, or I'll do, right? We build all this stuff up in our heads, but I challenge anybody out there who's using that as their blanket to go out there, jump online and look up the process. Look up the claims process. See how difficult that claims process is. See how many people on average are successful with these claims processes or with these wrongful termination lawsuits and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden you start to realize that safety blanket is just a blanket.
Right.
So create your own security. If you don't get anything from this season, let it be that, create your own security. Ensure that, if I am required to use my arms and my legs and my back and stuff like that to work, how can I get an income without those things, right? If I have to be sociable with my boss and I got to go play golf with my boss, I got to go do this and that and the other with my boss and this, how can I do it to where set my life up to where if my boss leaves, I'm still good, or if my boss gets mad at me, I'm still good, right? So, like I said, this has been a huge honor. I'm looking forward to being on season 2 virtually.
Yeah.
You know, via distance and stuff, using some of this great technology that people have shared with us.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And yeah, you know, we had a phenomenal nice guest.
I gotta
Yeah.
give you guys a hug.
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely. Great thing, brother.
Love you guys. Love you too.
I want to give Barry a quick shout out too, because
Yeah.
you know, from the beginning, he's held it down for us, and he's always sending us updates of when we're going to do the podcast, where we're going to do it, and he'll send me, you know, kind of like a game plan, you know, for when he can. You know, I know he's also a father. He's in the Coast Guard. You know, he's got his videography. But let me just say, Barry, like you are the man.
Thanks,
you are the man. Even my sister, my younger sister, and my older sister, and my parents were like, yo, Barry's he's him. He's that dude. You know, like he's that dude, and
Absolutely.
he's just so nice and so kind to people. And you know, my sister and when my mom sat there that day with us, she's just like, Barry. She was telling me, she was like, Barry has a very warm spirit about him, you know, and I'm like, I know it, Mom, you know, I know it. And I just want to say a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart, Barry, and I love you to death.
Thank you. I love you too, man. Thank you.
Absolutely, brother.
But what Mike said before, he says, don't focus on perfection, focus on finishing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I held that advice to this very day. And you said, like, you know, we're getting all these distractions, but you know what? We're finishing it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No matter what.
And
It's a
something
good
that I
feeling.
always
Yeah.
talk about is consistency and effort, and I think, Barry, you are a prime example of consistency and effort. Period.
Thank you.
It's that military mindset.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
It
is that
is,
military
right?
mindset. Yeah, that's true.
That first, like, you know, congratulatory for finishing was boot camp.
Yeah.
Ever since you got that, it's like, I want to do that all the time now. I want to finish whatever I
yourself.
start,
Right.
even though it's hard. Oh,
Yeah.
those boot camp days. Are
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and you know, it's always going to be hard. Life is never ever going to be fair. You just got to go out there, be your own light. And sometimes if you feel like you can't find the light will find you. So, all right.
Cut it.
Table Podcast, Season 1,
Season 1.
under wraps.
Yeah.
Hey, this is the beginning.
This is the beginning.
Mark my words.
Season 1 under wraps. We'll see you guys
Yeah.
soon.
Thank y'all.